I bought it when I was shooting a lot of trout because it has a.
Trump faces assassination attempts. Let me tell you about something that just happened in California's Coachella Valley. A Las Vegas man showed up at a checkpoint for a Trump rally carrying a loaded firearm, a shotgun, and fake VIP and press badge. Now, this sounds alarming, doesn't it? The sheriff even called it the third assassination attempt on Trump. But here's the kicker. The man was released on just a $5,000 bail. Doesn't that seem odd? We'll keep waiting for the more details on this, but it highlights the ever-growing threat surrounding Donald Trump. Now, with that in mind, it makes sense that Trump has decided to suspend his golfing activities due to heightened security concerns from Secret Service. They're struggling to guarantee his safety in the current climate. And Trump's campaign has even requested military assets for protection after receiving intelligence reports that Iran continues its efforts to assassinate him. Folks, these are not small matters. These are serious threats, and our constitutional republic is at stake. Welcome to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. We'll be right back. I think it's time for us to go right. Welcome to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin, where we dive deep into the issues that matter most to our constitutional republic. I'm your host, Peter Boykin, a constitutionalist for liberty, and we're here to cut through the noise, bring you the facts, and stand up for liberty. Let's get started. So Biden's DOJ sues Virginia for kicking illegals off the voter rolls. Here's one for the books. The Biden-Harris Department of Justice is now suing the state of Virginia for removing 6,303 illegal aliens from its voter rolls. Their argument? The state did it too close to Election Day. Now let that sink in for a moment. The federal government is going after a state for simply ensuring that only legal voters have a say in our elections. It doesn't get more blatant than this. They want illegals voting, plain and simple. If this isn't a direct assault on our constitutional republic, I don't know what is. We'll be right back.
For San Antonio police very aptly named their law enforcement effort Operation Aurora, because Aurora was the one that was first and got all that publicity. Operation Aurora. In honor of Jocelyn Nungari, Laken Riley, beautiful Laken, Rachel Morin, and all of the others that are dead and or mortally wounded at the hands of migrants who should never have been allowed into our country. I'm announcing today that upon taking office, we will have an Operation Aurora at the federal level. To expedite the removals of these savage gangs, and I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Think of that. 1798. This was put there. 1798. That's a long time ago, right? To target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. Who would have ever thought that a president or a future president would ever have to stand here and say such things? Who would think that that's even possible to have to do? So many things are changed in the last 4 years, but that's the state of our country now after Kamala and Joe Biden have just absolutely destroyed our country. We're a country in tremendous distress. We're a failing country. We're laughed at all over the world. We will send elite squads of ICE, Border Patrol, and federal law enforcement officers to hunt down, arrest, and deport every last illegal alien gang member until there is not a single one left in this country.
Trump unveils Operation Aurora. Donald Trump has just rolled out one of the most hard-hitting initiatives of his campaign, Operation Aurora. This plan, named after Aurora, Colorado, aims to crack down on illegal Venezuelan gangs wreaking havoc across America. Trump's plan involves invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which allows the president to detain or deport illegals from nations considered enemies. His goal, to dismantle every criminal network operating on American soil and seal the border to stop the flow of illegal immigration. Now Trump dedicated this plan to victims like Joycelyn Nungray and Lincoln Riley and Rachel Morin, all tragically killed or wounded by illegal immigrants. They're not the only ones, folks. These aren't just statistics, folks. These are real people. Americans who should still be alive today if our borders were secure.
But I will round up the illegal alien gang members and they will be put in jail or thrown out of our country until not a single one is left. And we're going to call it Operation Aurora, if you don't mind, okay? Because they were the first to come. And this is happening all over the country, by the way. If they come back, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole. Because we don't want them to come back. They got to stay out. And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer.
Aurora, Colorado has become a hotbed for Venezuelan gangs like Tren de Rega, notorious for crimes like homicide, rape, drug smuggling, and human trafficking. And let's not forget that recent data from ICE revealed that over 13,000 illegal aliens currently in the U.S. have been convicted of murder. It's shocking, but it's a reality we're facing because of lax immigration policies. Trump's plan also includes automatic 10-year prison sentences for previously deported illegals caught crossing the border again, and calls for the death penalty for any illegal who murders an American citizen. That's tough, but it's necessary. Now, here's where Kamala Harris comes in. Laughing, probably. She recently said there's not a thing she would change about her or Joe Biden's time in the White House. That's a direct slap in the face to all the victims of illegal gang violence. No regrets from the Democrats. Just more open borders and more violence in our communities. Think about that. We'll be right back.
Think I'm the number one influence?
I think it's
So
Rogan. I think it's Rogan, you, and Kim Kardashian. Like, Kim Kardashian influences the shape of women's bodies and faces. Like, you see so many, they're literal shape of human beings.
Do they want to look like her?
They want to look like her. So once we start seeing dudes want to look like you.
Yeah.
And I see young Jack over there. I think he's trying to do it.
Yeah. Jack.
Your TikTok guy.
TikTok Jack.
TikTok Jack.
TikTok. Tell me. You know, this is a little new world. I call him, his name is Jack. I call him TikTok Jack. I'm good with names, you know.
You are.
You're very good with names.
I mean, Pocahontas.
Yeah.
We have names.
What about, and there was, Tampon Tim was good. What about,
The problem with Tampon Tim, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
In other words,
It's a mouthful.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Tampon. And you can't stutter it through when you call it. It's really a lousy word to say.
Yeah.
But it's quite accurate, right? there are some, like Comrade Kamala. It's a little hard to say. She's comrade because she's obviously a communist.
Yeah.
She's horrible.
Yeah.
So I call her comrade.
Yeah.
And it's not bad. But when you put the names together, it's a little, you got to be able to No, you got to be able to put it out there. But we have a lot of good ones. A lot of them I can't go into with you because some of my best ones.
Let's hear it for the bros. Young men are rallying behind Donald Trump. Now let's talk about one of the most fascinating shifts in the 2024 election. Young men are rallying behind Donald Trump like never before. Donald Trump is actively courting this demographic, making appearances on popular podcasts, at UFC events, and even grilling burgers at frat houses. So far, Trump's been featured on Impulsive. The megastar Logan Paul hosted that. Flagrant 2, a comedian Andrew Schultz. Full Send podcast by YouTubers and the Nelk Boys. This past weekend by comedian Theo Vaughn. The Lex Freeman podcast. The Sean Ryan Show. Aiden Ross's podcast on Kick. And X Space with Elon Musk, similar to podcast. Now, these platforms have racked up millions of views, bringing Trump's message directly to young male voters. But it's not just talk. The numbers back it up. Polls show that 53% of male voters now support Donald Trump compared to just 42% for Kamala Harris. Even more impressive, nearly 30% of young black men under the age of 50 are leaning towards Donald Trump, a massive jump from 2020 when that number was below 15%. And in swing states like Arizona and Nevada, between 51 to 53% of young Hispanic men are standing for Donald Trump. The energy is real, folks. In 2020, just 29% of young voters said they were almost certain to vote. Now the number has skyrocketed to 54%. The Democrats are scrambling to win those votes back. Kamala Harris has sent out Barack Obama and Minnesota's Tim Walz to try to woo young men. Probably Tim, with tampons. But it's not working. Obama even scolded young men who aren't supporting Kamala, accused them of sexism. Meanwhile, Walz tried to appeal to the hunting crowd, but couldn't even load his own shotgun during a pheasant hunt. It's fake. It's inauthentic. And young men see right through it. That's some transparency for you. On the other hand, Donald Trump is straightforward. He doesn't need to pretend to be something he's not. He stands up for their rights, like protecting the Second Amendment, and promises to empower them economically. This is why the bro vote is shifting towards Donald Trump. And it's why Democrats are in panic mode. Now listen to another great original Go Right News music, and we'll be right back with a hashtag Go Right recap.
Out in the streets of Aurora, where the shadows run deep, Trump stands tall with a promise to keep Venezuelan gangs crossing our line, but we're drawing the borders, it's about time. From Jocelyn to Leck, their stories are clear. We're fighting for justice with no fear. They tried to silence us, but we won't bend. This is our country, we will defend. Operation Aurora, stand and fight. We're sealing the border, shining the light. Go right news, spreading the flame. From Costa to the Schultz, we write in his name. 13,000 murders walking our land, but Trump's got a plan to make us stand. Alien Enemies Act 1798, deport the killers before it's too late. 10 years in prison for crossing again. Death for the ones who murdered our kin. They want open borders, but we say no. We fight for freedom, let the world know. Aurora is rising, we're taking control. Can out the darkness, restoring the soul. With Go Right News, we'll tell the tale names on the podcast where they belong. From football fields to frat house grills, they're backing the man with unshaken will. Black and Hispanic, the numbers don't lie. They're tired of the Democrats' fake alibi. Obama gets stole, but it won't be enough. Trump's got the heart, and he's calling their bluff. Let's hear it for the roads. They're coming in waves for freedom and justice, no longer slaves. Go right news, lighting the way for the constitutionalists, come what may. Tim Walz can load his own shotgun, right? But Trump defends their Second Amendment fight. Barack plays the brother, but we all see through. There's no real connection, just faking untrue. We don't need hunters who can't take the shot. We need a leader who's strong and hot. No chemical needs, just cold hard facts. Trump's bringing liberty, taking it back. Operation Aurora, the battle's begun. We're taking back power, one by one. With Go Right News, the truth unfolds. For the constitutionalists, brave and bold. So here we stand, America's sons, with Trump at the helm. The fight's just begun. The Republic is calling. Can you hear the sound? We're filling it back from the lost and the found. Illegals won't vote. We're keeping it clean. For freedom and justice, it's more than a dream. This is our moment. It's time to unite. For constitutionalists, we'll win this fight. Aurora's our beacon. We're leading the charge. Securing the border, fighting at large. Go Right News, the voice of the free. For constitutionalists, this is victory.
Welcome back to the hashtag Go Right Recap. Thanks for tuning in all the way through to the show. Please make sure you share this and you let other people know about it so I can grow. So let's break it all down, folks. Trump is under serious threat. The assassination attempts are real, and the security concerns are no joke. Meanwhile, he's rolling out major initiatives like Operation Aurora to tackle illegal gang violence and tighten border security, all while courting young men with authentic outreach efforts. The numbers speak for themselves, and the energy is shifting, and young voters are ready to stand behind Trump. Folks, our constitutional republic is at a critical juncture. We need to secure our borders. We need to defend our citizens, and we need to protect our freedoms. And for the first time in a very long time, young men from all walks of life are standing up for these values. Now, if you want to keep up with the latest, head on over to GoRightNews.com for more. And you can also catch us on Rumble.com and check out hashtag GoRight with Peter Boykin on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, X, aka Twitter, and more. And if you want to support the fight, donations are welcome at Cash App, $ Peter Boykin, the number 1, or visit GoRightNews.com or PeterBoykin.com for links. Together, let's keep fighting for liberty. It's been another wonderful podcast. God bless everybody. As always, peace.
has one ability I don't have.
Yeah.
He sleeps. He can sleep. This guy goes on a beach and he lays down on one of those, 6 ounce. They weigh 6 ounces and he can't lift it.
Yeah.
They're meant. No, they're meant for children,
Yeah.
young people,
Yeah.
and old people to lift.
Yeah.
They're aluminum, hollowed aluminum.
Yeah.
They weigh very little, and he can't lift. And somebody convinced him he looks good in a bathing suit. And when you're 82, typically bathing suits aren't going to make you look great.
Right,
You're
right.
not going to be enhanced.
Yeah.
All right? It's just one of those things. I can't be sure about that, but
Yeah.
typically you don't.
Depends what he's packing. He could.
I don't
have
know
it
what
like
the
that.
hell he's packing, but I don't want to, and I don't want to know either. I don't know, but he has an ability to fall asleep while on camera. He can lie down on one of those things,
Yeah.
and in minutes he's stone cold out.
How does he do
And he's
it?
got cameras
How does
because
he
he's the
do it?
president, so they have cameras on him.
Yeah.
And then they show him sleeping on the beach.
Yeah.
You'll never see me sleeping in front of camera.
How do we get you better at that? Like, what can we do? How do we work on that as a country?
As a country?
Yeah.
We got to save our country. Look, we are a nation in decline.